So thanks a lot, Marjorie, for agreeing for this interview. I'm really excited and happy to that finally we managed to get together. I know you've got a very busy schedule, so thanks a lot for agreeing to talk to me about this. And we'll be discussing different things connected to the sort of non-native speakers movement and research and IATEFL. And the first question that I wanted to ask you is that IATEFL apparently has stopped publishing ads on its website on the job fair that required a candidate to be a native English speaker. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Well, actually, I was reading, I think, your post on Facebook, and I thought, oh, we have an IATEFL jobs market, and we advertise posts. So I contacted HO to find out if we had a policy in place, and Glenda Smart in the office, our executive officer, immediately looked into this and found that we had taken ads without saying they can't say just native speaker. So in discussion with the Board of Trustees, we agreed to change existing adverts to full professional proficiency or refer to CEFR levels. And we put together a statement from the trustees, which was included in an email sent to all employers advertising through the IATEFL's jobs market by Alison Castle, who runs it. Would you like me to read the statement?
Yes, I mean, that would be fantastic. Yeah, why not?
Good. Okay. This is from the Board of Trustees. IATEFL and many of its members and associates feel that the use of the term native speaker in advertisements for jobs can be construed as discriminatory, and we would ask advertisers to use alternatives such as full professional proficiency and or refer to CEFR C2 level or above, and or specify qualifications that are required. If there are visa requirements or restrictions, this should be stated separately.
And so this was sent to all the all the people who would like to advertise on your website.
Yes. Now, of course, there are countries that advertise for specific genders. There's nothing we can do about that except not accept adverts from them. But as they are sometimes popular with our members, we continue to accept them.
Okay, and that information, is that also available somewhere on your website, or?
I know that we have uploaded several things from the trustees. Whether this one is there, I don't know. We have a meeting coming in a month where we are discussing various issues, and I can check if this is there as well. I know we uploaded quite a bit of information, including statements about policy, in the last couple of months to become more transparent. I would need to check.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because it might be quite interesting for people to have access to this. And
absolutely.
And so all the recruiters have been sent this email. And if you how is this policy put into practice? So I mean, if you receive an ad like this, what happens if you receive an ad that says, you know, we want a candidate that's a native English speaker?
Well, they received the statement. I mean, I've seen correspondence, I think, between you and Allison regarding information that you would like made known during the next conference. And Allison said she's very happy to have the information posted at the job market concerning TEFL equity advocates and what you do. She does contact employers and says that they have to change the wording in the ads. That's just our policy now, and that's the way it works. We're very happy that this new policy is being put into place and that we can make use of less discriminatory language, I would say.
And this question just occurred to me now, but do you know, it's a very new policy, but have you heard anything from the recruiters? Are they sort of unhappy about this, or you don't know?
I have not heard about it. The big push normally comes before the conference. I think people are accepting it. I mean, it is an EU law as far as we know, but I haven't heard anything about this specifically.
Okay, and then we also wanted to talk about local teaching associations. How do you think, for example, TEFL France, they decided to also take similar steps to what IATEFL did? How do you think other organizations could possibly get involved?
Well, I know that Melta in Munich, for example, also refused to take these adverts, and Helen Strong pointed out that this was illegal within the EU. However, I do have to say that IATEFL, in our statutes or the laws of the association, we are not allowed to actually get involved in laws in other countries. So we cannot go to a country and say, you can't do this. We can only say that within the EU, this is the regulation, but we cannot go worldwide and tell other countries what to do. All we can do is encourage the TAs, our teaching associations, to follow the lead we've set in the jobs market and try to convince them to remove the term native speaker. We have over 120 TAs, and we see this as a very complex situation. In some countries, actually, native speakers have better job opportunities for positions in state systems. And this, of course, gives them access to healthcare and pension insurance, which many non-natives don't get. So we do want to make it clear that using the term native speaker is discriminatory and illegal within the EU and as far as we are concerned. Although, as I said, there are countries where we simply cannot do anything, especially those outside the EU. And we don't have the capacity to look over and approve the adverts posted by our associates.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, no, I totally understand that, but we can perhaps hope that other, if there's somebody listening to it, perhaps other teaching associations might follow IATEFL or TESOL France or Melta. And also, I know that TESOL International in 2006 issued a public statement opposing discrimination, not just of non-native speakers, but also in terms of gender, age, sexual orientation, and so on. Do you think IATEFL might issue a similar statement in the future?
Okay, IATEFL is working on an advocacy statement, taking issues such as this one into account. And once it's been agreed by the Board of Trustees, it will be published on the IATEFL website. We are certainly looking into it, and we support teachers around the world. That's our goal and our mission.
So yeah, I was going to ask you if IATEFL was planning to get involved in sort of advocacy in any other ways, but I guess your answer to the previous question kind of is what I wanted to ask you. And just on a maybe just to finish off on a more general note, we were talking about teaching associations, but what research shows that over 70% of all ELT jobs advertised online are for native English speakers only. So what could we do in general to change this situation?
Well, again, I would say, as these are very often commercial sites, we can only hope to change this by leading by example and providing the teacher development that we do all over the world. People like you and your group obviously help raise awareness of the situation, and we're glad to help you carry this out in any way that we can, as long as it is within our bylaws and our regulations. There are many things that IATEFL has done. For example, our plenary speakers have been on the FAIR list for gender balance for the last few years. We are very careful when we do webinars that we have a balance. We constantly look for a variety of teachers, natives and non-natives, to help them develop and have the chance to present. And we are a very inclusive conference. We try to accept as many proposals as possible, giving people from all over the world the chance to speak. And I think this year we received over 800 proposals. This is a lot of work for the proposals committee who has to read all of these.
It is.
And I don't know if we've actually done research on the balance there. That would actually be quite interesting to look at. How many non-natives are presenting at our conference, or the conferences through the associates around the world. I suspect it's quite a large number.
It might be, yeah. It would be quite an interesting research to conduct, definitely.
Interesting. Yeah, and I also have some other comments on this. In the countries that I know, the native speakers are the ones who get jobs teaching adult ed, and also sometimes in kindergartens that have private funds to hire natives to work with kids. But the majority, at least in Austria, who are in the state school positions or university are the non-native speakers of English. That's what I've seen. I was just in Poland. I was in 3 cities working with teachers. And of the, how many did I have? 100 teachers I had, one native speaker of English was in the teacher training courses that I did. These were primarily university and I think high school teachers.
Yeah, I mean, my own experience as a teacher would definitely confirm that. I think, you know, in the public sector, it's always the local teachers that get employed. So
yes,
probably
exactly.
if I went to Austria as a non-native speaker, I wouldn't get a job either, because it would be as difficult as it would be probably for you, because it's for the local teachers. But
I don't know. I just saw something on Facebook that a colleague from Greece is starting at the new didactic or methodology center of the English department at the University of Graz.
okay.
He just posted on Facebook. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Another thing I heard in the States this summer, very interesting. I have a friend who was head of the education department, a TEFL professor at a major university in New York, and they received a phone call from the New York City schools asking for a native speaker of Mandarin and another language, which I don't remember, to teach English to monolingual classes of those kids. So I think things are definitely changing. And Business Spotlight did a survey a while back asking business people if they preferred a native or non-native. And many people said they wanted a native. But what they didn't ask was, is that a native who also speaks the language of the people they're teaching? My experience has been that when I recommend colleagues for any kind of job, if they're native speakers and they don't speak German here in Austria, they don't get the job. So I think it's much more complex than just saying native, non-native. I also think we are very much in this together. I have learned so much from my colleagues. There are cases years ago when I was doing a lot of adult ed where my Austrian colleagues had better rapport with their groups because they could make jokes about how difficult it was to learn English, whereas I couldn't. I had a different approach to it. And we would share stories and share ideas, and often we found that we were helping each other enormously. I think this is incredible.
I think if I can just come in here very briefly and comment on what you said is, yeah, I mean, I think it is the whole sort of comparative fallacy, we could even call it. I mean, it's a bit self-defeating, because we divide people into two opposing camps, and it's a dichotomous vision of the world. And I mean, nothing is really that simple in the world. Nothing is kind of black and white, and it does, you know, impact different people in different ways. As a lot of native speakers, for example, get classified in certain countries as only being good at teaching and speaking, and they only get assigned conversation classes, and that's it. They can't get any other classes because they're only supposedly good at teaching speaking, which is very strange.
Well, when I started in Austria, I was given the beginners classes and expected to teach grammar, and all of the upper level classes were taught by Austrian teachers.
Okay, so it was
that was in adult ed.
Around, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And another interesting thing, Jeremy Day, who spoke at our conference in Budapest at the BISA conference, said that in ESP, when we look at English for specific purposes, we're all non-native speakers unless we're actually trained in the field we are teaching in. And this is an absolutely level playing field. So the way we look at this at IATEFL, I think we are consciously trying to move in the direction of all teachers supporting and helping each other, rather than looking at it as a division in the ranks. And with the affiliated teaching associations, the Associates Day, our webinar series, the IATEFL projects and awards, this is the goal that we are looking at, to help all teachers develop and to also encourage learning from each other. And if we can reach that goal, that is what I would personally like very much to see.
I would as well. Thank you very much. I think we can maybe end on this very sort of positive and inclusive note.